I'm gonna be real for a second. I put off making this review for a couple of days. Not because I really dreaded making it, per se, just because I don't know exactly what to say about Cibola Burn.
This is the introduction song. It's not very good, but it's not too long.
So, while Caliban's War is definitely the weakest book in the series, Cibola Burn is by far the most forgettable. Because Caliban's War, it had some parts in it that I liked. You know, I liked Bobby, I liked Vassarala, I liked all the stuff with Praxidike, and I loved the ending. But it was just, the plot was too much of a retread of Leviathan Wakes. Whereas with Cibola Burn, there's just not a whole lot in it that interests me. There's one or two things that are good, sure, just overall it's pretty bland, and I feel like this story could have been good if it was like a side story or something, which the Expanse has several of those, so I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. But when they put it in the main series, it just feels like a distraction from the real stuff that we actually enjoy. So the plots of this one is that at the end of Abaddon's Gate, when all of the gates were opened, people started wanting to colonize other worlds out there. And the first people to do that were actually a bunch of refugees from Ganymede who had been drifting in space for a very long time after their station was mostly destroyed, and then they just raced through the gates to another world just real quick before anyone could really stop them. And then they just set up their own little colony of a couple hundred people on the planet, and they called it Ilis. And then a company comes in and starts being, you know, all evil corporation trying to take shit over. So the people just fight back, and they just straight up blow a bunch of shit up because they're terrorists now, apparently. And then the company sends more troops and everything down there, and then Holden and the crew of the Rocinante go in to try and mediate negotiations between them. Now here's the first problem with this. The crew of the Rocinante is, you know, they're there as always, you know, they're generally pretty good people, but both of the sides in this are pieces of shit. Like, the company security and all that is run by a total psychopath who just murders people on a whim. And then, like I said before, the colonists are straight up terrorists. They blow shit up and kill people. And so it's kind of hard to get invested in a story when I really hate both sides of people. Both sides, all the people on both sides. Words are hard, I'm sorry. But it's hard to get into a story when I hate everyone on both sides and I just want them all to die. So that's the biggest problem with this. I'm just really just reading because learning about the new planet is interesting, and we find a couple more bits of information about all the people that made the protomolecule. But even then, not very much. Like, we found out way more during Abaddon's Gate than we did during this one. I don't even know if there's really anything else to add on top of that. Like, finding out stuff about the protomolecule is cool. Learning about the new alien world is cool. Like, it really is an alien world. It's completely different from Earth in a lot of ways. So that's pretty interesting to read about. But the plot's not good. There's not really any twists or turns. None of the new characters are interesting because they're all dicks, basically, except for this one lady who's just kind of boring. I don't even remember her name, honestly. I don't think I remember any of their names. It's just kind of forgettable, honestly. But hey, if you come this far, then just, you know, go through it. It's still a quick read, strangely enough, but just, you know, go through it, ignore the plot, just focus on the fun bits, and you should be fine. So this is the part where I say subscribe, and then I just sit in silence for a couple of seconds.